Hello, friends, and welcome to Load of Crock. This is the time of year where it really starts to feel like Crockpot season. Arguably in this house, it's always Crockpot season, but I know for most people around this time is where everybody really starts to get that itch to pull out the slow cooker and start cooking meals. So it's such an opportune time for us to continue sharing great recipes with you. And I'm happy to share that coming up here this fall, we have a lot of great new things that we're going to be sharing. So be sure to stay close to Load of Crock as we move forward towards the end of this year. If you aren't subscribed, please feel free to do so. All you have to do is click on the red subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, don't forget to click on the little bell. That way, then you'll always be notified anytime that we share anything new with our Load of Crock community. Now, on that note, thinking about it being Crockpot season, I was thinking a lot about shanks. Yes, shanks. I know what you're thinking. Why? Great question. Thank you for asking. So, when I think about shanks, I think about things like shanking the ball in golf, shanking the ball in football, shanking the ball in volleyball. A lot of ball shanking, never good, always bad. But in today's episode of Load of Crock, we're going to talk about some good shanks. That's right, they exist because we're making shredded beef tacos in the crock pot. Friends, for those of you who still may be wondering, and actually it might be all of you still wondering, okay, great, you're making shredded beef tacos. What's this thing about shanks and being good? So I decided to do some research because I love beef. I love a good brisket. I love a chuck roast. All of these are great meats, especially in the crock pot. But I thought, let's step outside of my comfort zone a little bit. So I did. And I found that people rave about cooking with the 4-shank cut from the cow, otherwise known as the shank, for slow cooking. It is a tough meat. That is why it's so great, because if you slow cook it in juices, it is amazing. And so, breaking news, shanks can be good. So this recipe, I used center cut shanks. I was not disappointed. One of the things that I loved that I read a ton about was that it is with the bone in, and that does add some extra flavors to the meat. And I gotta tell you, I don't disagree with it. We actually, our family noticed a difference of this meat versus when I have cooked chuck roasts in the crock pot. So I can vouch that there is a nice additional flavor with doing the bone in. So I'm going to throw these together, did a little bit of seasoning, and then put them in the pot, let them sit for a handful of hours. I'm going to show you what I did, and then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the positives of the shank. Okay, friends, what I did, I got the cuts out, and then I seasoned them with Worcestershire sauce. After this, a little ground up salt and pepper, followed by some garlic seasoning as well as some cumin. After I got them nicely seasoned, I grabbed my crock pot, added in the beef broth, and then laid in the 4 cuts of meat. You'll see here I did have to layer them on top, but no worries, they still cooked lovely. And for good measure, I added banana peppers, obviously added the juice. After 4.5 hours on low, pull out the bones and shred up the meat. Friends, that meat is so good. Juicy, flavorful, so great. A few things that I want to share about it. First, as you saw, I had 4 different center cut shanks is what they were. And so that totaled about just shy of 3 pounds in total. So just so you know how much that was from a poundage perspective. And then I cooked it on low for just shy of 4.5 hours. So it was about 4 hours and 20 minutes. For the shredding of it, you can shred it in the crock pot after you take the bones out. It is tender enough to do that. Personal preference, what I did, I took all the meat out, put it on a cutting board, and then when it was cool enough to touch, I shredded it myself. But again, either one, total personal choice. And third, shocking, we ate them as tacos, and that amount of meat made 12 good size of the street tacos size. And we did them with just a little bit of avocado, some cotija cheese, and then we squirted some fresh lime on the top. They were so amazing, you guys. And also, leftover alert, also amazing. So another great reason for this recipe, it's perfect for leftovers as well. And then lastly, one thing that I wanted to ask just to see if you guys think this is as crazy as I do. So when you have a shank cut, if it's from the front leg of the cow, it's called a foreshank. And then in golf, when you shank the ball, you're supposed to yell four. I mean, I just feel like there's some wild connection that is just waiting to be uncovered about this. I'm kidding, of course. I don't think there's any wild connection. So if anybody does decide to go down that rabbit hole and find anything, of course, please do let me know. Shanks to all of you that are subscribed and watching this Load of Crock channel. I continue to be so grateful for everybody's interest. For those of you that have been here the whole time, all of our new subscribers along the way, thank you so much. If you aren't subscribed, as I shared in the beginning, all you have to do is click on the red subscribe button, and then you will be a part of all new things in this Load of Crock community. So now, friends, here it is. The final look at these tacos. In the beginning, when I said, this is a good shank, this is a shank you could be proud of, I meant it. It is. So now, check out these shredded shank beef tacos in the crock pot.